It's summer 2022, and I'm at a nuclear power plant delivering my training on creating inclusive cultures. I've got my slides behind me, the flip chart in the corner, and the room is hot. The air conditioning is not working. Bzz, 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 bzz. The plant manager's phone rings, and he answers it. Someone has attempted suicide out on the plant. I freeze. I don't know what to do. The room has gone somber. He has to leave, and I'm told to continue the training session. I feel like that swan, where on the surface, I'm calm, collected, together. But underneath the surface, my legs are kicking. I'm struggling to stay afloat. I don't know what to do. I get through the training session, the plant manager returns, and thankfully, the individual in question got the help and support that they needed. It doesn't always end up like this in engineering. I'm McBride-Wright, and I am founder and managing director of a business called EqualEngineers. I'm a technical safety engineer by background, and I've spent my career helping engineering organizations to create physically safe working environments so people can go home safe at night. And through my business, EqualEngineers, I empower engineering organizations to create inclusive cultures to attract, develop, and retain talent. A few years ago, I was sat at my desk and I was reading a magazine, and there was an article that caught my eye. It indicated that the male suicide rate in the construction, manufacturing, and the process industries is the highest of any sector. Statistically, you're more likely to die through suicide than a typical hazard, like a dropped object, fallen from height, electrocution. Things that as a safety engineer, I used to spend time, money, and effort eradicating, minimizing, preventing the likelihood of it even happening. And I didn't believe it. I did not believe these statistics. So I commissioned my own survey. 2018, Masculinity in Engineering. It's open for 6 months. We get over 875 respondents. And 6 months later, I'm back at my desk, sitting down, analyzing the data. I sit up. I'm looking at the charts. I can't believe it. 1 in 5 respondents reported losing a work colleague to suicide. 1 in 5 reported suicidal ideation or self-harm themselves. So we have a mental health safety crisis. Over 700 engineers in the United Kingdom last year died by suicide. That's over 2 per day. And in the United States, the suicide rate in the construction sector is over 4 times the national average. So we've got to do something about this. We've got to shake it up. We need to share. We need to hear. We need to act. We need to have kindness. And we need to have empathy. Shake. So I decided to take some of these statistics and apply them into my learning, into my training that I do with clients. So I'm in London, I'm at a railway depot just outside the city, and I'm doing training again with our clients on inclusive cultures. This time, I've got 4 engineers in the room in front of me. Arms are crossed. Body language is closed. They do not want to be there. One of them actually got told to stay there by the HR team. And as the facilitator, having traveled to be there, I was like, hello, good morning. I'm not holding you here hostage. You can leave if you want. But they stayed. And as the session unfolded, their body language changed. Their physicality opened up more. And one of the engineers shared that his wife, who is Polish, was feeling anxious. It's Brexit, and she doesn't know what that means. Is she going to be deported? Is she going to get indefinite leave to remain? Is she going to have the right to work? Are they going to have to spend a lot of time apart? The ambiguity swirls in her mind and she can't contain it. He contains it for her. He keeps it in for her when at home. And then he comes into the workplace and then zip, stays quiet. Doesn't talk about it. Doesn't share it with his colleagues. And one of his colleagues in the room for the past few months has just been going on and on and on about Brexit, about it's not much of an issue, etc., etc., etc. And in that moment, he turns to his colleague and says, I've had enough of you. You're really pissing me off. You've no idea what I'm going through at home right now. I come in, my wife is in tears, and then I come into work and you're just push, push, push. I've had enough. The room goes quiet. I draw his attention back to me and I acknowledge him. I say, thank you. Thank you for sharing that. That was brave. Finally, he felt heard by the group from what he'd shared. The guys came up to me after the session and were like, whew, Mark, we were not expecting a session on that. But thank you so much. We got a lot out of that. So I was like, whoo, I am on to something here. So I acted. I rewrote all our training content. I decided to center the discussion instead on minoritized groups and focus it on getting the voice of the white, cisgendered, heterosexual, able-bodied male engineers that represent 86% of the engineering profession. Not to avoid the conversation on misogyny, homophobia, biphobia, transphobia, ableism in the engineering workplace, racism in the engineering workforce, not to diminish those voices, but to start from a different starting point that then leads to a point of kindness and empathy. Empathy for themselves, to have empathy for others. And it worked. We now help businesses create inclusive cultures. We've got a big partnership with some big motor racing brands. We secured £100,000 in investment to run a training course to 1,000 engineers in the UK nuclear sector. And we're helping coach engineering leaders who feel tight, who don't know how to address this stuff. We're shaking it up. Because it's ironic if the intention of our inclusion and belonging programs are to create a place where you can be your whole self, bring your whole self to work, then it's not working for the male majority. We need to get them to look inside themselves first and then come outwards with empathy to understand their own difference and adversity that they've been through. And we create that space. We're shaking it up. And it's not just professional. I am a father, and my husband and I have 2 children. Our son, Hunter, is 4, and our daughter Willow is 2. And we play a little game at bath time. Now, bath time in our house is at 6:30 p.m. We get the kids out the bath, and I wrap my son up in a towel and I take him through to his bedroom. Now, before he gets his pajamas on and we blow dry his hair and read a story, the game that we have to play is the Hungry Caterpillar. Have you heard of the Hungry Caterpillar? See lots of nodding heads, good. So what we have to do is Hunter curls up in a ball, all nice and tight on the floor, and then I have to take the towel and I put the towel over him. And then I have to narrate. And I said, one day, there was a very hungry caterpillar. The caterpillar ate 1 apple, 2 bananas, 3 peaches, 4 strawberries, 5 raspberries, 7 blueberries. Dada, you forgot the cake! Oh, sorry, Hunter. And 1 piece of cake. The caterpillar was full until he had 1 piece of lettuce to settle his tummy. He wraps himself up tight into a cocoon for a few weeks. Hunter then pulls the towel closer to himself, and then he starts to wiggle. He starts to shake. And then the caterpillar bursts out of that cocoon. And with that movement, Hunter takes the towel off, he throws it aside, he comes out, and then he flaps his wings like a beautiful butterfly all around the bedroom, butt naked. He's free. And I see the way in this world that we start to box young 4-year-old boys into what we expect them to be. Limiting self-expression and not letting them show up fully. And I'm sure we've all, at some point in our lives, experienced feeling confined, shackled, constrained, in. And I invite you to indulge me here, to lean forward, and then all we need to remember, if we're ever feeling like that, we just gotta shake. We share. Let me hear you. What are we gonna do? Share. Online as well, I can see you. We're gonna hear. We're gonna act. We're gonna be kind. And we're gonna have empathy. We're gonna shake. Thank you.